especially London, because I just assume like the rate of living is
Fucking London's
so
fucking
extortionate.
ridiculous. I'll give you an example. Right? Like, I don't. Have you bought your place or are you renting?
No renting this place for now. We are
Yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah.
process going to buy, but no, I'm just renting this place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, same here. I'm renting at the moment. Like, yeah. I don't know how you feel about this, right? Because I know everyone's different. Some people get offended when I say this, right? But like, I mean, being our age as well, right? You know, you get people like, I'll give an example. Like, there's this one person that we used to go to school with, right? She bought a house last year, and fuck me, every fucking single day she's still talking about the house, right? And
Right.
I'm just like, do you know what? Fair dues, right? Congratulations. But it got worse because she starts digging people out that haven't bought a house yet.
Yeah.
So she's like, and then like recently, her sister, who's like fucking close to 40, right, has bought a house now. And she's like, I'm so proud of my sister who's bought a 4-bedroom house, brackets, much better than the flat she used to live in. I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with a flat? Right? What's wrong with a flat? Anyway, and it fucking bugs me, right? Because I said to my wife, so let me get this right. She's basically bragging about being in like fucking 300 grand worth of debt.
Right. This is what I say all the time. I'm like, you don't own that house. You have a fucking mortgage. You have a big debt. That's what you have. Right. Like there was this
Yeah.
girl, and I remember this ever since I saw this because it made me so pissed. This girl had this post, and it was like on Instagram, and basically she bought a bungalow. Well, got a mortgage and got a bungalow. It was
Yeah.
like a little like a bungalow, like a one story, and she had it on like Instagram, like her in front of it, and she's got like the pure sass face on, and the caption was like, bought my first house at 21, what's your excuse? And I was like this close to commenting saying, what, so your mum and dad give you 8 grand to go and get a deposit for a mortgage, which you're not going to pay off for the next 35 years and live in a depreciating asset in a depreciating area and not actually make
Exactly.
any money off that? It's like, thank you, love.
See,
I'll wait 3 years and buy a house that I'm going to rent out to
yeah,
someone else.
dude, spot on, right? Like, it fucking bugs me, but I just don't bother commenting on it because
Yeah.
it's just like, you know, you're just pissing in the wind with people like that, right?
It's not worth the
It's
argument.
it's not worth your time at all. But like, it's so spot on, right? Like we grew up. I mean, at least my parents, anyway. I don't know if it's just because I'm Asian, but like buying a house is like the fucking greatest thing you can ever do in your fucking entire existence, right? Alongside being a doctor or a pharmacy, right? so so it's like it's so weird because like you're told, right, growing up, like, get a good job, buy a house, be in debt, die,
Yeah,
probably have just enough because you got to fucking pay to die. Bear in mind, right?
exactly. It's
Like
not
if
free.
you're skint and you die, it's still a bad thing. So it's still like a no brainer there, right? So and then it just doesn't do well for me because I can't get my head around this, right? And I'll implement the same thing into my children one day. First of all, saving up, like, now you're not even talking like 10 grand for a deposit. You're not even talking 20 grand, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're talking, like, by the time you pay for, I mean, we get stamp duty obviously free,
Mhm.
technically, first time buyers, but still, you're probably going to want to do bits to the house. You still got a load of other
Yeah.
shit to pay for, like furniture, beds, or whatever's going to go into the house.
Mhm.
And it's like you need probably like 40 to 50 grand. Because
Yeah.
don't forget, you buy the house and you got to pay it like fucking 3 weeks later as well, right? So
Yeah.
it's not like, oh yeah. So you basically save up, right? You get these people that live with their parents, save up for like a fucking decade, right?
Mhm.
For like 40 to 50 grand.
Yeah.
And then to go, here you go. And then, yeah, that's all right. I'm going to pay you in 3 weeks as well. So
Yeah.
how does that fucking make sense?
Mhm.
Just to say you've got a house. I'd much rather rent. I want to. I mean, my wife's a bit different because obviously, like, stability, especially one day when you've got kids. Like, it's
Yeah.
good to have that stability. But rent where you live and buy where you can rent to others is the
Exactly.
most important thing you can ever hear, I
Yeah.
guess. Right?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's common. Well, it's not common sense, but it's just smart. Like if you can get a mortgage, buy a house, rent that out for £650 a month, and then live somewhere that costs you 550, it's no brainer.
Just
Like
weigh it out. Yeah.
it's
And
very
it's like
simple math.
in our industry as well. Like, because
Oh
whether
yeah.
you got a mortgage or you're renting, right? Like, we don't need an office space. You don't need to go and buy an office. You don't need to pay business rates.
No.
You don't need to employ people in the UK, right? Like, why do
Yeah.
that out of choice?
Mhm.
Um, you don't need that. Like, you don't
Yeah.
need that office space. And the good thing is, like, we can actually claim our rent or mortgage,
Yeah.
like 20%, right?
Yeah,
So like,
20%. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like, yeah, like I always say to my wife, and in general, like, I'd probably advise you. I don't know what your game plan is, but like, everyone's got a different one. But I'd always say, like, just buy a fucking flat first of all, because you don't pay stamp duty, rent
True.
it out, and just rent a bigger place if you need to, and just take off the amount of money. Do you know what I mean? Like, take off your 20%, take off your asset for your flat, sell it in like 2 years. And in some sense, if you do that and you sell it in 2 years, you basically get a deposit, probably, if it's increased to that substantial amount.